were with your son visiting college.
I went to visit college, and people were like, "Where are you? Where are you, Sonny? You're afraid of the guest that's there." I'm like, okay. I don't know. But I'm curious in terms of the hearings. I know.
Not afraid of anyone.
No, I'm not. As you know, I'm curious in terms of the way the hearing is going to go, because I know for the Democrats at least, they have a former federal prosecutor who prosecuted gangs and the mob doing the questioning. So and I wonder if the Republicans are going to do the same thing, as opposed to, let's say, having someone like Jim Jordan or someone doing the questioning, because I think it's better to have an attorney doing the questioning like they did in the Watergate hearings. We won't know until tomorrow. Well, and that will. Well, we know that's what the Democrats plan.
But we know that whatever happens tomorrow will dictate how people respond to this. And so we can say, well, the Democrats plan to do this and the Republicans might do this. But the truth is, we're not going to know till we know.
But, you know, the other thing about Watergate was it kind of built up as you went along. By the time John Dean spilled the beans and Butterworth said that there was a tape in the White House, people had to watch. It's like watching a mystery unfold.
But so
stay with it.
But the difference now is I think people have a little bit of a sense of what's going to happen, because you now know that there was a quid pro quo, at least according to Sondland and people that were involved. And so we already know that before the hearing started. The question is, but that's the question is a lot of Republicans know that, and they still are entrenched in their camp, saying this is not an impeachable offense. So I'm just curious how much the needle can still move on the public hearings, because as of where it sits right now, people are either for impeachment or they're vehemently against it.
And it's always like that. That's the way it always is. Everybody divides into their camps. But when you have had the ability to question the people you've been saying, well, you know, until they put it out in the open, I'm not listening. And then you get the opportunity. The person says, listen, this is what happened. You can say whatever you said, but I'm telling you, this is my experience. This is what happened. Now, you can keep, you know, with the blinders on, but everybody said we want it out in the open. It's coming out in the open, and we won't know till we know, and then we'll make a decision, and damn if we won't talk about it.
You asked for it, you got it, Toya.
If we are preempted, everyone's invited to my apartment to just do commentary on my Instagram Live. We'll have a view, because we have to talk about this. I can't not talk about this. We all have to talk about it.
Well, you'll be FaceTiming me all day.
When you come
I'm taking us away right now. We'll be back.
Later, Frozen 2-star Kristen Bell and Jeff Goldblum on Charmin' the Queen with a royal performance.
Hey, welcome back. Now, I know this is going to be a shocker to you, but we have yet another candidate who may be joining the presidential race. Reportedly, ex-Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick thinks there's an opening for someone who'll be able to unite liberal and moderate voters, because he says he doesn't think anyone's gaining political momentum right now. Yeah, okay. I mean, you know, between him and Bloomberg, just the cojones on these guys.
I know.
Well, I mean, because I just feel how insulting to the people who are running.
And doing well.
You know?
The people who are doing well.
Well, can I point out that Ronald Reagan was the last candidate to enter this late, and we know how that worked out. He won.
And that was also the 80s.
Twice.
It's an entirely the game has changed.
This is a little bit different.
The paradigm in which people get
this guy is not the guy to come in and do
I'm with Whoopi. I mean, it says a lot about someone to think you're going to ride it on your right horse and save the day when you've got 17 candidates running. But clearly there are Democrats behind closed doors, and a lot of them on Wall Street, the big money people, saying we are concerned. We don't think we have the right person to be. This is apparently what's happening, because you have more and more people that are jumping in the race. And Joy, I find your take on this so interesting, because you've been a lifelong Democrat, and your main mission is to get Trump out of office.
Right.
You're concerned about Elizabeth Warren.
I am.
But you don't think Elizabeth Warren...
I'm not alone. A lot of people want him out. As I was saying to the makeup room this morning, I'm a very pragmatic liberal. I want to win.
But that's why you said Elizabeth Warren isn't the right person.
Elizabeth Warren is scary in terms of she promises things and people may not buy it. I like Elizabeth Warren. I did from the beginning. I'm a liberal. I like what she's saying. If she can pull it off, I'm worried about it. That's all.
The polls
I wish people would read it. There's an article today that I wish everybody would read in the Washington Post. It's written by Max Boot, like B-O-O-T.
Oh, for God's sake, that guy.
And wait a second. And Max
but
Boot,
you know what?
who was a Republican and a conservative who
He's
turned.
not.
He was.
He's not.
He was.
He is not.
Before you
He
get
was.
into the, okay,
He is not.
we're going to something else.
Wait a minute, just one word.
Because-
he writes, what will happen to this country if Trump wins in 2020? Read it and weep.
But there are people like that, people like Joy Behar go on TV and say, oh, look, it's the Republican, it's the conservative. Max Boot would vote for Elizabeth Warren, I believe. I don't want to speak for
No,
him. But there's
absolutely
a certain point, there are people that have completely abandoned their conservative principles because Trump happened, and they have Trump derangement syndrome. And I take umbrage at the idea that people like that go on TV and say they're Republicans when they will vote for all liberals and all Democrats and support their liberal policies. You abandon your principles.
That's not true about him. That's not true about him or any of these
And again,
never-Trumpers.
I don't have a personal problem
They
with
just
Max
can't
Boot.
stand him.
No, when you're voting for liberals and you're voting for liberal policies and you come out saying you're okay for Medicare for all and then you go on TV saying you're a Republican.
Max Boot said that?
I didn't know Max Boot was going to be a hot topic this morning, so I didn't follow up on all
Well, I
his
know
policies.
about him, and he did
I
not
know
say
about him
that.
too. People like him and Jennifer Rubin and many others go on TV and are quoted as Republicans when they might as well be liberals like you.
They hate
and I'm
Donald
sick
Trump.
of it because it makes my life harder.
Well,
Okay, you know what makes my life hard?
Getting out of this.
That's right.
I didn't
We'll be
know
right
that.
back.
Come back.
So the okay boomer trend continues on Twitter, where younger generations are sharing what they call the most out-of-touch advice they've gotten from baby boomers.
Oh, no.
Apparently, this is one of them. You can't just apply for jobs online. You have to get out there, drop off resumes, call them every day, go pound the damn pavement. That doesn't seem like bad advice.
No, I think the biggest mistake that young people make is not listening to people older than them. The older I get, the more I realize you learn, you get more wisdom. I love talking to my grandparents, and I wish that my grandpa was still alive so I could get. He was very old school. He said, never get rid of a handwritten note. That goes such a long way. Same with the resumes. This shows you want the job. My mom always tells me, because she's, I guess, a boomer, is what did you do today to make someone else's day a little bit better? She always turns it on someone other than yourself. And that, I think about that every night before I go to bed. What did I do today? It's not about me. What did I do to help somebody else?
Why would that be bad? Why would it be bad advice to back up what you're doing with a resume? No, with a resume. If you send it, people get emails all day long.
all day.
And I feel like you could send in your email, your resume in, and then go drop off a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
It shows you want it that bad.
Well, it says you're willing to come outside.
Yeah.
And then get away from the computer
Yeah.
and get over it. I don't think that's bad advice.
They don't want you walking around when you can do everything online.
Well,
That's what they're saying.
it's very odd online. You can do lots of things online, but lots of mistakes get made online. Lots of mistakes. You can't tell somebody's attitude by something you're reading in an email. I think, sometimes when you just go up and say, here's the letter I want you to have.
Yeah, but you look at
Just the face. FaceTime. You need
The
to FaceTime.
hashtag OKBoomer comes from a lot of millennials being frustrated with baby boomers for making a lot of promises and sort of screwing up the entire world with the environment, the economy, etc. That we were promised. This is not me. No, this is just the impression. There was a woman, I believe, who was a congresswoman, who someone was yelling at her about climate change, and she said, "Okay, boomer." And it's sort of that the promises that were made to that generation were not given to ours. We make less money. We have a harder time getting employment. Obviously, everything that's going on in the world is extremely chaotic, and that this is the first generation that has been left the world a less promising place.
Well, here's the thing. No, they're not. You're not the first generation that left a less promising place.
I'm just telling you the
No, I understand.
rationale of
So here's the deal. You remember we showed you pictures of what Los Angeles looked like 25, 30 years ago when you couldn't see the Hollywood sign. You know who cleaned that up? The boomers. Do you know who cleaned up all of those streams? That's why I get so upset when people start saying, well, your generation didn't do anything. How the hell do you think stuff got done? People keep saying, oh, y'all are not woke. We never went to sleep. We never went to sleep. Y'all were allowed to nap because we were taking care of business.
I think it's because Trump's a boomer too. I think that's part of
he's a boomer.
And
well, you can be mad at him.
He's a bummer.
But there's a lot of folks who spent a lot of time trying to get this right. hoping that in conjunction, because, you know, young people are just waking up and saying, oh, we want to be part of this. Yeah, we've been telling you, we needed you to be part of it.
Go and vote.
You got to vote.
So.
Well, I mean, Nixon and Johnson were very much responsible for the Vietnam War. You can't blame baby boomers. The baby boomers stopped the Vietnam War, basically. So you can't blame an entire generation.
I don't
blame
use
bad
this term.
politicians.
I don't use this term because I don't like it. I'm just trying to explain it. Like,
No,
I don't like
understand.
blaming a swath of anyone for anyone's problems. I don't like it when people say all Republicans are evil. I don't like when people say all Democrats are blank. I don't like it, and I do think it's disrespectful. I was just trying to explain why.
How about, did you go boom boom? They used to say that to kids, remember? Did you go boom boom?
I don't know where we are right now, but we'll be back.